Yeah, you need to go time. Off for 10 or 15 minutes.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Kayla Dehan Hill. I have a question to start you all off. Who here wants to be fat, sick, and depressed? Good. No one's raising their hand. That's a whole different conversation. But in all seriousness, is it common or uncommon at some point in your life to end up fat and or sick and or depressed? And I do recognize that's why some of you might be here, and I've been there myself. So tonight we're really going to focus all on you. We're going to go over hormones, inflammation, and fatigue. So who here, just by show of hands, who here's or fatigue? Dealing with fatigue, belly fat, exhaustion, diabetes, pre-diabetes, blood pressure issues, high cholesterol, autoimmune conditions. Anyone been told your labs are normal, but you just don't feel normal? Anyone? Anyone here been dragged here? No, no one? I like to ask those questions up front to really make you understand that you're not alone. I think we all are way more similar than we are different. So tonight we're going to definitely focus on you. My promise to you guys tonight is I'm going to give you as much information, this topic, as I can in the next hour or less. And my hope for you is that you feel inspired and motivated to take action on the very next step with a complete wellness evaluation, which I'll go over, where I can get to know you, what things you're struggling with, and develop a plan of action for you to go forward with. So, question, if your health is not optimized, do you feel it's easy to then get to your life purpose? Does anyone here feel like right now you're living your life's purpose? You know, I rarely get a hand raised. I might get this. And we know this, right? And it's okay if you know that you want to be somewhere else and you're not quite there yet. I will share that for years I was not living my life's purpose, and I'll go ahead and share my story now. But I will, before I do that, I'll say right now, I know this is exactly where I'm meant to be. This is my purpose, and it wasn't easy getting here, but it's been the biggest blessing. When I was about 28 to 30, and I'm 45 now, just to give you an idea, I was in the worst place in my life. I dealt with depression and anxiety my whole life, but it was at an all-time high. I actually lost half my hair. I was exhausted. I could barely function. I wasn't sleeping. I was staying up all night because I couldn't sleep. And I lost my left side of my vision because my blood pressure got so high. I would literally try to see patients walking into walls. I couldn't see what I was doing. And I went to doctor thinking they're going to help me. Not one time did they look at me, and this is just my experience. There's a lot of great doctors, but this is just my experience. They didn't even look at me. They were just writing down on the pad, and their answer was always the same: exercise more and eat less. And I'm like, that you're not hearing me. Like something is wrong, and I'm gaining weight. All these different things. They're like, well, just do those things. And then when I say weight gain, it's no joke. I gained 40 pounds in 1 month. And if you can think how much that is in a very, very short period of time, clothes not fitting, my hair is all coming out, and I'm just like, I was terrified. And just going to more and more doctors. They're like, oh, I don't know. And then scary things started happening. I would literally sit on a couch and I'd break my neck. I would sit on a chair, I'd break my scapula. I'd break ribs just taking a walk. And it was just one after another, and I literally lost count. I think about 15, 17. I literally lost count of how many bones I was breaking. Then seeing scary doctors, oncologists, any kind of doctor you can think of, and they all said the same thing: I've never seen this before. Go find somebody else, or I don't know. And I'm like, okay, great. So I was just suffering. And does anyone know what a broken bone feels like?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Osteoporosis.
Yes, it's not something you can massage away, right? It's horrible. So I know what it feels like to suffer, and I remember very distinctly, I was in my kitchen at this time after being told I don't know over and over. I collapsed in my kitchen and I prayed to God, just take my life. I cannot do this anymore. I cannot live this way anymore. I am suffering, and I just want to either get better or I want to die. And it's hard for me to say that, but that's where I was at. And it was a blessing because I had never prayed for help before. And it was such a blessing because I got answers, and it wasn't really the answers that saved my life. It's how I chose to take care of my health. I was diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It's a connective tissue disease. This is why I was fracturing bones, rupturing muscles. I forgot to mention that. Diagnosed with POTS syndrome. I'm feeling there's something going on with that, so I get you. Yeah.
What was the diagnostic?
I'm so sorry.
The diagnostic, what was his name?
Oh, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It's a connective tissue disease. Yes. And I was diagnosed with POTS syndrome. It's a cardiovascular autonomic nervous system issue, so I will have to sit down sometime. Just know that's normal. Diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome. It's a disease of insulin resistance. So when I was told, eat small, frequent meals, hurry up, all these things, I was gaining even more weight. And also, and which we'll go over that too, I was also diagnosed with my thyroid function had shut off completely. So that's why I was also gaining massive amount of weight. So it was great knowing that. I'm so blessed to know that. But it was literally how I chose to take care of my health. Been such a blessing. I have nutrition. I found out the right nutrition for me. Detoxing. I finally got my hormones optimized, which I wasn't making very much hormones of anything. But and exercising the right way versus over exercising with a broken neck, which was not advised. There were so many things I was doing, but it literally saved my life. And this is why I'm so passionate. And that's why I'm here tonight. So that's why I want to always share this. In the next slide, I actually made only a week ago, and I wanted to share the 3 hardest times in my life. I only have one, I have a few pictures, but when I started gaining weight, at some point I said I can't take more pictures, so I kind of wish I had one, but this is one that when it started happening, couldn't find anything more because I said stop. This is actually before a surgery I had when I was rupturing muscles. I was about to get that one taken care of. And you can see my spine, it was not very pretty. And this picture kills me because I had a really horrendous surgery and I was detoxing from pain medicine and my son just wanted to hold my hand. So I share this because I know what it feels like to suffer and I know what it feels like to have the ones that you love around you suffering too as a result. So even though this is hard for me to share, I feel like it's really important so you understand you're not alone and I do understand. Oh, sorry. On a bright note, this is Amy. Amy was sitting right where you're sitting, Maria, crying the entire time. She did the same exact presentation that you guys are at right now. She was crying. Yes, she went to menopause very early, lots of weight gain. And she's like, yes, the weight gain's awful. The fatigue's awful. I can't sleep and I'm oversleeping during the day. Yes, that's awful. What she came here really for is her sons, or her teenage son, teenage daughter, were like, Mom, what's wrong with you? Like, what's wrong? Like, I'm worried about you. And the last thing that she wanted was for teenage kids to worry about her. So she decided I had got to do something different because she wasn't exercising, eating healthy, neither were kids. So she hated seeing her kids see her suffer. Because she went through this process and she went through a program, she was down over 40 pounds, more energy, excited to get up in the morning. She's actually starting to work. She wasn't able to work in years because she was exhausted all day. Eating better, setting a better example for her teenage kids. Because she's eating healthier, they start eating healthier. She's starting to exercise, they are now exercising. And she wishes she would have found the program sooner. I'm extremely proud of her. She decided to do something different. So as we go through these slides, I want you to start thinking, are you willing to do something different? So tonight we're going to cover first America's healthcare crisis. Who here knows it's a crisis? Why do you guys feel that is? You're right. Yeah. Yeah. What does your insurance card cover? I usually get that response. What does it cover when it does?
Never what you need.
It's never what you need. Sometimes it might cover some medications, maybe some diagnostics, whatnot. But it's real. Can you use your insurance card to make you healthy? No. I feel like so often people think, well, my insurance card is going to save me or it's going to help me. But we need to start thinking of our insurance card like we do our car insurance, because does our car insurance pay for us to oil change, wash it, make sure it's okay? What does it pay for? What's our car insurance pay for?
The crash.
The crash. Exactly. I think we all should have insurance, and just don't get me wrong, I think it's important. I've had a punctured lung and all these emergencies that happen. I'm glad I have it, but I think it should be used for emergencies versus thinking it's going to make us well. I'm going to explain more of that in a minute. We're definitely going to go through stress, hormones, and health, the underlying cause. This is what is missing, guys. It's so ridiculous. Like, let's say, for example, I see this all the time. Let's just say someone is not eating, as well as they could be. go to the doctor, cholesterol is elevated, you get on a statin. A statin medication, and you're thinking, okay, it's to lower the cholesterol, I'm gonna be fine. What you don't realize is that statin medication over time will create diabetes, lots of different issues. Okay, now I'm diabetic, I need metformin, or I need insulin, then I start gaining weight, then I've got a B12 deficiency. I mean, it's one thing after another. Usually one medication, then you need more medications, and it just keeps you in this loop. So we're gonna get to the underlying cause versus putting Band-Aids over symptoms. How to take action to protect your health naturally. So this training is for you if you're feeling overwhelmed and exhausted. Anyone? I get some nods, we'll take it. You're not feeling as good as you know you should. You know you think differently, but you're not confident how. That's pretty common. You realize health does not come in a bottle. You're willing to take ownership of your health. Is anyone there at this point? Yes. So I know what this feels like, and I know probably a lot of you do here. You know, as a patient, has anyone been told your labs are fine, normal, when you don't feel normal? Anyone? So yeah, it's like you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, you're listening to your doctor, you're following X, Y, and Z, and things are not getting better, and you're like, why? So, and I know what that feels like, just like I explained. And as healthcare providers, we are like, okay, you're being told like, you know, hurry, hurry, hurry. And just so you get information about me, I'm a nurse practitioner, I've been so about 20 years. And I know what this feels like. I was yelled at every day by the doctor I worked with, hurry, hurry, see more patients, you know, quick, quick, quick. I had Medicare, I had all different types of patients having all these different issues. And then he gave me literally 7 minutes to see them. It wasn't happening. So it was just a constant battle, and I couldn't do it anymore. I wanted to take care of patients the right way. And I know what it feels like going, you know, doctor, and not being heard or listened to or even looked at. So I didn't want to do that anymore. The good news is you don't have to be stuck in the system. It doesn't have to be this way. What we don't want to do is get to this point in our life where we're filled with regret and we wish to God we did something different. Everyone here knows someone has been here before, right? What the thing is like no one thinks they're going to be here. We don't think that that's going to happen to us, right? This picture always reminds me of a man named Armand, the sweetest man, you know, business always did really, really well. He was from South Dakota, married, kids, grandkids. He grew crops in his backyard, all organic. He'd give it to all his neighbors and just took care of everybody. Just the person you go to when something wasn't working, he'd fix it. Unfortunately, it turned out he had prostate cancer. He had to be moved away from South Dakota to here to be cared for in a home with his wife too. Every single meal, sugar, sugar, sugar. His health declined rapidly, and so did his wife's. And just one thing after another, you know, the prostate cancer went to colon cancer, myasthenia gravis, an autoimmune condition, and just downhill. And his oncologist said, I'm going to give you medication to shut all your hormones off. That's going to save you. I have never cried so much in my life, just to be honest. I'm like, please, please don't do that. It's going to kill you. I know it's going to kill you. And he's like, I remember him saying, well, why would the doctor say this? You know, I trust them. Like, he would never say something to hurt me. And like his only fear is you're not to die of prostate cancer. You're gonna die of something else. He's like, I'm sorry, I trust him. And unfortunately, he did the medication and he died a week later. And it's very, very sad to me because it was my grandfather. I love this man to pieces. I was born on Father's Day on his 50th birthday, so we always had a really special connection. And all he wanted, you guys, was to go home and spend that time with his wife and with me and my mom and my brand new son. And he didn't even get to make it home. And it breaks my heart. He's like, I'm so tired. And I told the nurse, like, why are you giving him all this crap? And that's why I kept that picture. And she's like, well, he's gonna die anyways. Just give him all the sugar he wants. He's gonna die anyways. And I'm just like, this is the man that I love. This is the father figure. It's like my one mentor I had growing up. And they're like, okay. So I share this because we don't have to live this way and we don't have to die this way. In traditional medicine, yes, it's got its place, and yes, we need it for certain things, but it didn't have to be like this. And what I could never do is get my grandfather to a presentation like this. I want to commend all of you guys for doing something different and being here tonight. It's the holiday season. You guys could be anywhere else, but you chose to come here tonight. So I commend you for that. I appreciate that. But it can be a different way. So this picture of this lady with prescription bottles, common or uncommon? Yeah, maybe add a few more. So what if she's 30 or 25? It's becoming more common, you're right. And it's such a pill culture. So I want you to start thinking, like, imagine like your check engine light went on your car. You take it to the service station, they take your car back, 5 minutes later, all they do is flip the switch off. They bring it back to you, and then you're excited. Fast customer service, I get to go home now, and I get to go work or whatever, and then down the street, your car breaks down, or the light goes back on. Was the underlying issue addressed? They just turn the symptom off. That's our medical culture. Yeah, and we really want that fast, like make things go quickly. So it developed this pull culture in out that this is going to save us and fix us, and it doesn't work. Anyone here with a high blood pressure? I don't remember anyone raising their hand when I asked that.
Well, elevated a little, yeah.
Are you on medication?
They did give me some.
But you're not taking it, it sounds like.
No,
Okay.
I am, but she said, I'm gonna leave it up to you. Do you feel that, you could like lose the weight and do all this? And I said, it's not happening right now.
Okay.
I don't want any further damage, so.
Okay, so you're taking it, yeah, okay. So let's just say, imagine you stop taking it for a couple days, what would happen?
It would probably shoot up and I would get.
Right,
Yeah.
and then a couple days after that, you start taking it every single day, it goes back down. But was the underlying issue addressed? Right, it just treated the symptom, yes. So as a perfect example, this happens all the time. So America's health crisis, unacceptable costs and unacceptable outcomes. 3.5 trillion spent annually in healthcare, and overall we're getting sicker. 90% of them on chronic health conditions. And they keep throwing money at it, but we're not getting better. It's like towards the medications, but not trying to figure out the underlying root cause. Double the amount of other developed nations. 70% of all deaths caused by top 5 chronic diseases. And like I said, the money's going towards the medications, it's not helping. United States ranked 37 out of 40 in health outcomes. Is that surprising anybody? No. Is there a pill for this? Constipation, diarrhea, IBS. But does that medication get to the root cause of what's going on? No, it's just masking the symptom. Yeah, absolutely. Tired and sluggish. Some people having to push themselves, push. Anyone feel like that? You're just pushing yourself all stinking day? Yes, exactly. This poor lady is taking a nap at the gym. She at least made it. She's not doing much, but maybe she only slept 3 hours, and she just, drinking coffee, and she just couldn't make it. But how often are we pushing, or drinking our coffee, Red Bull, all these things just to kind of make it through the day? Depression. There are actually hundreds of causes of depression, and I feel like doctors are so quick. Here's your antidepressant. And I'm not saying, some people need it, and I'm not against that. But let's say, is there an underlying cause? Like, is there some other reason? Let's just kind of figure this out. Anxiety, crippling panic attacks. Anyone deal with that? Yeah, it's like, but here, do you want anxiety medication, like to live on and be addicted to? Let's get to the underlying cause and see if we can get that taken care of. Insomnia. Do we all want to be addicted to Ambien? No. Let's get to the root cause and see what the reason for not sleeping is, so you're able to sleep. Mood swings and emotional. Well, here's your birth control pill. Here's your antidepressant. Here's all these things. Well, let's get your hormones checked. Let's see what's going on. As a society, are we gaining weight or losing weight? Yeah. And how many prescriptions are out there right now? Ribelsis, semaglutide, I could keep going. So with the issue, they work very, very well. But what happens when you get off? You gain it back, and I've got research on why that is. But yes, and if the underlying issue is not addressed and you're on that, you do actually gain weight plus. So yes, we have to get to the root cause. Who here's been told eat small, frequent meals throughout the day so to keep your blood sugar stable? Anyone been told that before? Yes. So Rebecca, so you've been told that. Do you know what that does? It keeps your insulin level high the entire day. It actually does the opposite. So before I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome, the doctor said eat small, frequent meals, and I just kept on gaining weight. I'm like, that does not work. I'm gonna explain more about that in a minute. But yeah, it's a problem. I love Amy. Amy was incredibly skeptical. She's like, I don't know about this. I don't think I can do this. But she really saw, she lost her mom recently to type 2 diabetes. She's like, I don't want to go down that path. Her son was actually starting to gain weight and eat just like she was eating. She would binge eat, he would binge eat. So she she was also diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome, low thyroid. She was like really close to diabetes. But now going through the process and trusting the process, she's lost over 50 pounds. Depression, anxiety, so much better. She makes better choices every day. The office cheers her on, helps her focus on her why. She wants to live and she wants to encourage others to seek life. It's worth it. I think it's so incredible because I've known her for years and she always wanted to be a nurse. She's like, I can't do that. I literally, like, I'm not leading by example. I'm eating bad. I'm binge eating. I'm not exercising. Because she went through this process and she trusted the process, she is now in her 3rd semester and making straight A's. And her son, so proud. He wasn't exercising at all. Now he's doing mountain climbing. And he's like lost an obscene amount of weight and he looks fantastic. So she's literally teaching generational health to her kids. So it's pretty amazing. I got chills to me talking about that. So I'm very proud of her. This is why I do what I do. So the sick care model, do we have wrong or lacking information? Both, you're right. Why is that?
Because everybody just pushes medicine. It's all big pharmas. That's all it is.
Politics, economics, and advertising. So finish the sentence, milk does the body.
Good.
Yeah, it's like, does it do it any good? No, or snap, crackle. We're advertised to every single day, and we are also inundated on information. We can Google anything, and so many times, like, I'm gonna research. Oh, it's true, like.
No, I'm a high school nurse. So
Oh.
my kids, like, I Google my symptoms.
Right.
All the way down here.
Right. We are in a world of information, but very little action. You kind of see that to be the case with kids too.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like we have all this information, but yes, this is time. If you're out of place, or we're like, this is the time. It's time to take action. We're gonna go more into that. In COVID-19, how an unfortunate crisis creates surprising opportunities for our health. It was a horrible, terrible time, but now we know it's about thriving, not merely surviving. We now know how important our immune system is, and I won't go into this too much because we've been tired of hearing about this. We don't have control over everything in our lives, obviously. We are all as young as we're gonna be at this exact moment. Sorry, I start slurring, I know I need to sit. We do have control over certain things. We can be proactive. We can consider food medicine to heal the body from the inside out. We can address blood sugar imbalances, improve heart health, boost our immune system, minimize any inflammation disease going on, calm any autoimmune process down, and balance hormones. Those things we can do. And what we do, the reason we get the results that we do, is we incorporate the 5 pillars of health, and we incorporate them in a system, which is nutrition, hormones, fitness, detox, and mentoring. I'll go through that in a minute, but first, how did we get here? Like, overall, why are people getting sicker and sicker?
Because we're just band-aid things. We just put more
Yeah.
medicine, and this medicine causes more issues, and it's just.
Yeah, you're right. Yep. Anyone else? That's exactly right.
The food.
Yes. Yes.
Big one.
You're all correct, yes. All these different stressors on our bodies. So there are some physical stress, chemical stress, and emotional stress. So there's some good physical stress, like exercising our bodies, but there's also trauma, car accidents, different injuries, and also gaining a lot of belly fat that can also be very inflammatory to our bodies. Chemical stress, I mean, goodness gracious, our food is very toxic, right? Who here knows what glyphosate is? No one? Anyone know we're eating Roundup every single day in our food? Yes. And what that's doing is poking holes into our gut and into our brain. So in those chicken breasts, chickens are not that big. Chickens are, that's kind of scary. We can control the things that we do. We can control like the amount of alcohol in the coffee, maybe not being on social media all the time or the news. Those things we can control. But all those toxins that we're around every single day in our water, eating out of plastics, all those things, we can control that to an extent, but we do have to detox our bodies. Has anyone here heard that cancer is all-time high? Yes, and infertility. All those toxins actually accumulate in our bodies. It gets stored in our fat cells, and it doesn't leave until we make it leave. So there's a process to do that. But yeah, I dealt with infertility, and every single every doctor had their waiting room completely full, and all the men's testosterone is plummeting. It's because of all these toxins and all these other things too. It is insane. Cancer, all-time rise. It is a humongous problem. And emotional stress, you know, I can't change the way your, you know, significant other or family member acts or behaves, obviously. We can change the way our bodies process that stress. So, yes. There's different types of hormones in our bodies. There's fat burning and fat storing. Fat burning, for example, growth hormone, insulin-like growth factor, glucagon, thyroid hormones, and testosterone. Fat storing hormones, insulin, estrogen, and cortisol. I've had people say, well, I only want the fat burning hormones. I'm like, no. If you don't have insulin, you're type 1 diabetic, not the best. You don't have estrogen, you're in full-blown menopause, not the best. And cortisol, if you don't have that, you have Addison's disease. That's a huge problem too. We need everything in the right balance. For example, estrogen needs to be in balance with progesterone. Insulin, like I talked about earlier, eating the small, frequent meals is what keeps that insulin level really high. You know where that came from? That advice, eating small, frequent meals. Does anyone know where that came from? The food industry. I know. Like, seriously? Yeah, of course we're going to follow that. So yeah, it's the worst advice. Spacing out is the best, but we figure out the best nutrition for you, obviously. Cortisol. So we're supposed to have a higher amount of the stress hormone in the morning, and throughout the day, it should go down lower so you can sleep peacefully. What happens? Chronic stress, anyone?
All the time is cortisol high.
Yes. So what happens? Stress. You wake up in the morning with a lower amount, and it goes up throughout the day, and then you're tired but wired at night. That is called adrenal fatigue, and that actually can be reversed. So we'll go over a little more hormones in a minute, but which one do you have? Stress, adrenal dysfunction, anemia, liver congestion, hormone imbalances, gut infections, vitamin D insufficiency, blood sugar instability, chronic inflammation, infections, insulin resistance, heavy metals, toxicity, food allergies, gluten sensitivity, celiac disease, or a virus. A lot of words. So when you go to a traditional practitioner, their first thought, what medical condition do they have? What's the second thought? Yeah. Which drugs? That's it. Pharmaceutical companies spend billions a year to make you think that way. I mean, yeah. And then a lot of times when I was a new nurse practitioner about 20 years ago, I had pharmaceutical companies all the time. This is how you test for thyroid, the Synthroid company, which wasn't even a correct thing, but this is how you test it and treat with my medication. I didn't know better then, I obviously know better now. It's ridiculous. It's not even the right thing. This is actually the most infuriating slide that I have, and it's wrong. The Medicare Journal, all the different insurance companies look towards Medicare for their policies and procedures. They say care that seeks to prevent disease, promote health, and prolong and enhance the quality of life is not considered medically necessary and therefore not payable. I'm going to say it again. Care that seeks to prevent disease, promote health, and prolong and enhance the quality of life is not considered medically necessary and therefore not payable. This is infuriating, and it's not okay. By a show of hands, who wants to be stuck in this broken healthcare system? Wonderful. And by a show of hands, who's ready to break out and take accountability for your health? Because no one else is going to do it for you. This is wrong. This is wrong. So I really want you to start thinking, are you ready and willing to do something different? Because you cannot rely on the insurance company to take care of you. This is your life. We get one life. This is not working. So the sick care model, prescription drugs, Americans spent $535 billion in 2018, a 50% increase in 2010. So that magic healthcare insurance card does not cover everything, obviously. So it just keeps getting worse. I love Ron and Marge. He actually joined a program because his wife was. And he's like, well, if she's going to be making changes in her health, I guess I'm going to do it too. And he never understood the results he was going to get. She joined because they always go hiking, and she's like, I felt like I have a bowling ball on my chest. I'm trying to go. I'm sluggish. I'm tired. I don't feel good. And of course, he had a little more energy than she did. But they have a daughter. They wanted to have energy. They wanted to have clear thinking. But he, like I said, he joined to support her. He lost over 32 pounds. His cholesterol was elevated. It's completely normal now. We try to have a testimonial reel going, but our internet's down right now. but he was speaking about, he went through every single number, he's a numbers guy, about how much he feels better and how his labs improved. Marge lost 24 pounds, her pain, inflammation is go down, she can go hiking up mountains, and now she feels like, oh my God, I feel free. That was the word she kept using. Her IBS gone, she's sleeping. She's like, my hormones are balanced, I feel great. They both wish they would have found the program sooner. It's the best investment they've ever made. So it's really cool to go through the program together if you have a spouse, because you're making changes and so are they. I'm really proud of her. So as we go through the next set of slides, I want you to really start thinking about what your why is. Why do you want to improve your health? And it could be you just want to optimize your health, but who looks up to you? Who depends on you? Some people say, well, this is my life, my health, it's my business. I'm like, completely fine, completely fair, but I'll ask you guys, if you don't take care of your health, who's affected? I'm so sorry? Everyone, your family, yes. I'm going to share my why, so it'll give you an example of what that could be. And those are my children. My boys, I actually, right before you guys came here, my Christmas photos just came in, so I didn't get to put the new updated ones. This is Braden, he is 8 years old, and Grayson is 5 years old, and that's my husband, Tim. So anytime I struggle, or anything, that's my why. This is always very hard for me to share, especially now. Having Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is genetic. Sounds like you might have that same issue. They have a 50% chance of having it, and my oldest is starting to show symptoms. I'm a lot of people in my condition are in wheelchairs, especially with the trauma I've had. I know for a fact if I go down the road and not take care of myself, they'll be in a wheelchair too. I always want to be the best example for them, because the kids watch what we do and listen to what we say. You guys, exactly. So I don't want to ever him say, you know what, mommy's, I want them to say, mommy did it so I can do it too. So it's just them him starting to show symptoms has been really hard for me lately. So I know now more than ever, I have got to be that example for them. And my why has actually expanded, where really teaching patients of mine to teach also generational health and change that for their life and also everyone around them. That has expanded to my why too. So I want to help anyone who's ready and willing. This is my passion, and I'm ready for y'all. Your why will break you through the terror barrier. We all have fears. Fear of failing, fear of success, fear of starting one more thing that may or may not work. I get that. That's why your why is essential, because looking towards that, this is destination focus of where you want to go, where you want to be, and whose life you want to impact. So now we're going to go through the 5 pillars of health and why we get the results that we do, of the detox, mentoring, nutrition, hormones, and fitness. So we'll start with detox. So anything you've heard of or thought about detox, eliminate from your brain. It's not that. Promise you. Do a lot of you know that 80% of your immune system is housed in your gut? Awesome. The liver and the gut are responsible for proper use of hormones. And I talked about all those, they're called xenoestrogens. They literally build up on our fat cells, and they do not leave until we make them leave. And that's what creates weight gain, inflammation, autoimmune processes, all those things. So we have to clean out the body. So it helps clean out the liver, the kidneys, the gut, and the skin. So people going through the detox, they'll start losing weight. Their skin starts really clearing up. Their inflammation in their joints starts getting better. The bloating in the morning starts getting better. Just getting up oh, I can walk okay. So it's very cool, that process, and people start looking younger too, which is probably really, really cool. So I promise you, it's not that. Did you need me to go back?
If you can, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Sure, you can take a picture.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So it's a very, very incredible process. And it's not that, I promise. So it's really gentle supplementation to support your body's own natural detoxification processes. You're always eating real food too, by the way. And speaking of, a lot of you know the purpose of food, that which is eaten to sustain life, provide energy, and promote growth and repair of tissues. And a lot of you know food could either be life-giving or take your life with type 2 diabetes. So anytime if anyone's afraid about changing their diet, has anyone experienced when you start eating healthier, your palate changes and you crave different things? Has anyone experienced that? Yeah, it does. It actually does happen. And if there's any food that you are afraid of giving up, I completely understand. I grew up eating those little powdered sugar donuts in those really big bags. I ate a bag a day. By 12 years old, my triglycerides were 350 plus, and no one could figure out why back then. So my point is, I thought I'd always crave it and have to have that. And now I probably get physically ill if I ate it. And I also grew up drinking Diet Cokes all day. Did anyone else? No. Okay, no. I did.
Yeah,
So-
my kids were.
Yeah, your palate does change. It does change. We really, it's incremental changes, making small changes, everlasting changes to get you to your health goals. Fitness. So for those of you who said, I'm exhausted, telling you, hey, go work out. Go do this, like you can't do that. We work on your energy first, you're able to do that. And we figure out the things you enjoy doing versus like go to the gym, do X, Y, and Z. You might love going to the gym. We figure out what things you enjoy. I have a trainer I see once a week that understands my connective tissue issues, and I do things on my own the rest of the days. We figure out what you like. It does not mean you have to do that. Promise you. It could be with friends and family, it could be with whatever that works the best for you. Just know we work with you and we meet you where you're at. So there's different body types for different hormone issues. There's the estrogen body type, which usually means the estrogen's out of balance with the progesterone. Adrenal is more that being in that constant fight or flight, so you get more of essential obesity. Thyroid body type is more of a universal weight gain everywhere. In the men, the liver belly, does anyone know where that comes from? Were you gonna say something? So alcohol, or because those toxins usually plummets their testosterone, which then lowers their estrogen, causing the liver belly. So not everyone obviously is the same, of course, but that's why testing labs and making sure they're in the right reference range versus, Quest, LabCorp, CPO, their reference range are based on the national average for sick people. They just take everyone reference range and they just stick it all together. It's not optimal whatsoever, and some of those ranges are completely ridiculous. So just know we go by optimal ranges, not the national average for sick people. If you're 1 point away from diabetes, you have diabetes. It's kind of silly. That's why it's so important to know what those functional ranges are versus, that wide range. Mentoring is my favorite. These are our mentors. So I share that because my mentors, Randa's and Lamisa's mentors. So you always want to be mentored by people that are also mentored. So we help you figure out the underlying cause of what's going on versus putting band-aids over your symptoms, creating a unique plan for you, educating and empowering you, guiding you through your journey. You're not doing this alone. Holding you accountable, encouraging you, and celebrating you as you make your successes. So we want this to be something that you do and that you've got success with it and also the mentorship with it. So I'm ready to mentor anyone who's ready and willing. Being nervous, completely fine, but if you're ready, this is the time, let's do it. And of course, you met me, Lamise, and Rand is our office manager right here. So we're here to guide you and be here for you every step of the way. So once again, you always want to find a mentor who's also mentored. Leading by example. Well, we would never have you do anything or ask you to do anything that we don't do ourselves. It's very, very important. So what we offer are customized, all-inclusive programs. Everyone, this program can be completely different. It's going to be based on what your needs are, what things you're struggling with, and what your health goals are. So with the nutrition, fitness, detox, hormones, and mentoring, which ones do you think you could remove and have the same results? Anyone? Everyone's shaking their head? No? None of them, right? It is kind of a trick question. I know probably some of you have tried a few of them, right? And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think it's 94% of people fail without having the correct mentorship. So that's why I love having mentorship. But yeah, of course, all these essential elements are necessary. I used to do hormone programs. So I'm an advanced hormone provider too, and I used to do that for years. And so hormones get people in a really good place, but if you are not detoxed, you're not eating the right foods, you're not exercising, it becomes a problem when you can't get past a certain point. So this is why it's essential to have all those elements and get you to that really good level. So what the goal is to get you off the sinking ship if that's where you're at and get you here. And if you want to be in a boat in Fiji, great. But we really figure out what you want, what's important to you. For me, I always want to have the energy to be on the floor playing with my kids. That's most important to me. I've got some patients saying, well, I would like to be intimate with my partner, it's been years. Or I wanna go on vacations, like I haven't gone in a long time because I've been feeling so crappy. Or just to be able to like walk up the stairs and not feel out of breath. Or do load of laundry without feeling I need a nap. We figure out what things do you want, like what's really important to you, and go towards that destination. We figure out what that looks like. And we really want to turn a crisis, if that's where you're at, into an opportunity to help you. I love this Chinese proverb. Tell me and I may remember. Show me and I will remember. Involve me and I will understand. You will be part of this process. This does start with you. We're here for you every step of the way, but you will be involved in the process. This is not a prescription. You're gonna go out the door and come back and 3 months later. It's not like that. So wake up and stop procrastinating. Cats have 9 lives. Happy and furries can be, right? We have 1 life. 1. This is your chance, your opportunity. So what does procrastination do?
The action
Yeah.
after.
I'm sorry?
Make the action after.
Right, later.
Later.
So you have a choice. You can say one day, or this is day 1. I love Sarah. I love her pieces. She actually made this slide. She came in here bawling, just tears and tears. She kept gaining and gaining and gaining. She felt awful. It got so bad, she started having suicidal ideation, and that wasn't like her. And she's like, I can't do this anymore. And I remember very distinctly, she's like, can you help me? I'm scared to trust. I'm scared this is not gonna work for me. And she's like, I'll believe you if you tell me I can do this. And I said, absolutely. And I'm so thankful she trusted the process. She has lost the weight, which is important, obviously. It wasn't good for her health, but her suicidal ideation went away. Her joy, that woman has got more energy. She just got engaged. She's getting married in, I think, May. She also said, like, I don't feel comfortable going out of the country to see my parents. I don't want them to see me like this. Because they'll look at me and they'll know how I'm feeling. Because she did this process, she trusted the process. She's gone there multiple times. She's gone out of the country multiple, different vacations. She takes pictures. She's right there if you guys want to see too, on the beach. She is a happy woman because she trusts this process. She completely turned her life around. But her experience, her program was easy to follow, step-by-step coaching, personal touch. She never felt hungry. That was a fear of hers. She didn't once. No guessing. If you follow your program, it works. Worth the investment. I wish I found the program sooner. So proud of her, and I see her pretty often, so excited for her. So this is your chance to do something different and change. Otherwise, you leave your health and your wellness and happiness to chance most of the time. So what's the catch? You have to do the work. This is a shortcut, right? The dog's being walked, the person in the car, are they getting exercise? No, there's no shortcuts, but that's the beautiful thing is we're here for you to co-labor with you every step of the way. But you have to be in a place you're ready and willing to do the work, of course. So what is next? I'm gonna see if I can stand up. Okay. So I'm gonna go over what the next step in this process is, which is really exciting. But before I do that, I hope I gave you as much information as I could in this time we have, which is actually less than an hour. But my hope for you is you take me up on a complete wellness evaluation, which I'll go over this. So what this is, the complete wellness evaluation is a consultation with me where I go over a wellness evaluation and I come up with a plan of action for you to go forward with. So question, when you go to a traditional practitioner, how long are you face to face? Less than 10 minutes? Anyone else? Rebecca's nodding.
Less than that even.
Less than that, okay, yes. And how long are you waiting in the waiting room? Forever. Yeah, I was telling Randa and Lamise, the POTS cardiologist, which I don't like to go see, I am there for 3 hours. I see him for 5 minutes. Yeah, it's great. So, question, what are you charged? And I'm not asking what your copay is. It's ridiculous, yes. But a lot of times we don't know what that looks like because we just pay a copay, right?
Explanation of interest.
Your EOB, exactly. But for the most part, depending on what the appointment's for, maybe $250, $350, it just depends what it is. So my appointment with you is a full hour. You will not be waiting in the waiting room. I think the maximum is 5 minutes. So, and also, the value normally is $287, but because you guys are here tonight and you've been pre-educated, I don't have to go through this again. Tonight is discounted down to $87. Why do you feel I do charge $87? It doesn't cover my time, but why do you guys feel it's important? Accountability, yeah. Skin in the game, yes. Allows me to know that you're gonna be there for your appointment. We would take the finances tonight. It's gonna reserve your spot. So just get in the game. I spend this time with you. It's just some accountability there. If you want your spouse or significant other to also be evaluated at that same time, it is just an additional $47. So if you feel like, oh, my spouse, no, they probably don't want to be evaluated, we will still have them come to your evaluation. Why is that important? Accountability. Yeah, it's the only time they need to be there. They need to understand the process. It's a fairest thing for them. There's a time investment, there's a financial investment, which we'll go through. It just allows them to know we're all on the same page. And also kind of does help understanding or with what you're going through too. So $87 if you want your spouse or significant other to also be evaluated. $47. We'll add some more time on them if you want them to be evaluated too. They'll have their own paperwork, which we'll get that to you tonight too.
And how often we have to pay? Every month? 80?
No, that's for the appointment, for the complete wellness evaluation. And during that, we'll get there. We'll get there. So, what was I gonna say? I just completely lost my train of thought. So, here. So things to remember. I will give you paperwork tonight to fill out, and there's questions on there that you probably have not been asking for, but you should have a long time ago. Questions like, if things don't change with your health, what are you afraid might develop? Like really being open and like thinking about that. Also, where you want to be in your health. If you were healthy from the inside out, what does that look like? What things would you be able to do? Also, medications, family history, all those, your history and all that too. So make sure that your paperwork is completely filled out. If you come with it not filled out, we'll have to get you rescheduled, which we don't want to have to do, of course. We have appointment times over the next 2 weeks. In a moment, Randa Lemise will come out and hand you that paperwork to get that filled out and get you scheduled. So I do this talk often, so I reserve the next 2 weeks. So just make sure you get an appointment in those 2 weeks. Make sure you show up on time. I'm very, very respectful of time. I want to make sure I respect everybody. Everyone's busy. You guys came out tonight. I'm the same way about the complete wellness evaluation appointments. Just make sure you come on time. Spouse or significant other must come with you. It's the only time they be there. So you can say that one time, and then next time you don't need to deal with that. The only exceptions, if you're about to kick the person out of the situation, don't bring them, obviously. Of course, active military overseas or real reason, then obviously that won't work out. But I've had people say, well, my spouse is busy. My response is always the same. Everyone's busy. This is your life, this is your health. I usually tell them it's a doctor's appointment, it's really important. You don't have to ask for permission, but ask for support. That's really important. We have limited appointments. We only take so many practice members a month, so I'm ready to help anyone who's ready and willing. Just make sure you keep your appointment and make sure you get scheduled the next 2 weeks. So tonight is all about you, who depends on you, who looks up to you, and whose life you can change. Because yes, this changes your life. I never knew going through this process or taking care of my health. I really didn't know it was going to help so many people. We think I always thought I was selfish, honestly, but I was actually being selfish. I wasn't taking care of my health because other people were having to take care of me too. So it is such a blessing. I don't want anyone to get this place in their life. They're like, God, I wish I would have done something different. So I don't want anyone to wait till it's too late. It's your chance to do something different and change your life versus leave your life to chance. So in a moment, they're going to come out and pass out the forms, but before they do that, I'm going to go over some frequently asked questions. The first question I get is, can we help everyone? What do you guys think? I get a no. What is that?
So there's some conditions that it's too far gone.
And it could be. Yeah, I'm very open and transparent. But also, people have to be in a place where they're ready and willing for change, right? They cannot be like forcing. You have to be in a place where you're ready for something different. But I like that you nodded. That was good. I liked it. The next question I try not to ask with a smile, but I can't help it. Does insurance cover this? It's not that I don't take insurance. Insurance does not cover anything for you to do well. Let's just be honest. They like to, they lose money that way, which is very unfortunate, but it's true. The next question I get is it affordable? Absolutely. We have all walks of life. We've got single moms, single dads, retirees. We've got people on a really fixed income. We usually make something work within a budget. We've got financing with different options, so you're aware. So it just becomes a choice. Are you ready, willing to do something different with your health? And then the last question we get, can we do things virtually? Yeah, absolutely. I do recommend that first appointment being done in person. It works a lot better. And the rest, if you want to do it virtually, absolutely. We've got some people in Missouri, New York, all over the place. So they usually do come for that first appointment. If you can't come in person for the first appointment, let us know. We'll get something worked out. But what I'm gonna do, Brandon and Lindsay are gonna come out right now and get those forms passed out to you. They're gonna collect the $87 and get you on the schedule. I'm gonna leave this on right here. I'm gonna step aside for a few minutes and answer some personal one-on-one questions for anyone that needs it. But thank you guys so much. You've been a blessing. Oh, real quick, before I forget, please don't ask me, Rand, or Lemise what your programs will look like for you. I don't know. That's what the appointment's for. There's so many different variables, what issues you're having, whatnot. All that's gonna be discussed at that appointment, so don't ask us tonight. I need to get to know you first. So, thank you so much. I'll step aside. God bless you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
One question,
Yes,
is
come here. Yeah, come here.
Ah.
Yeah. Oh, you can help.
all the way to the right, the last thing. Yes.
If you have a
Okay.
It's not just, yeah, it's a lot. It is a lot. Oh my
Well, now she'll be maxed out, like her 2 days to her.
Yes. Okay.
I've been her mom for 22 years, let me tell you.
This is our, that's
Oh my gosh.
Where is he?
She has 3 kids.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay. Could you spell for your appointment?
So we have, Thursday, Friday,
So my recommendation is get on the schedule for her shopping if you can, but it's on the calendar, so just schedule tonight, and then you can move it tomorrow or not.
So that's, the Thanksgiving the 28th, so we are the 26th, 25th.
Okay. I still don't think discounts, maybe she can.
Okay, yes, I think we can do that. I'm not sure where I'm Yes, you can, because will it come through like a? Okay. Okay.
Okay, so I know we have remission official evaluation, which is 87. And then after that, is it like a
Well, they
month?
have a time, so they
But
have
she
to
is different type of next I mean, there is like certain like everyone, so I don't even
Right.
on there.
And it depends on what plan you have,
And
right?
of course,
So you won't know until after your first visit.
yeah, she's got simplicity. I mean, when you visit her, she will always tell you one thing, she has a past.
Right.
So that's the only thing that's on this moment.
So I had to ask her the question.
Appointment time, Will?
Yes, ma'am. That's a pretty agree.
A general idea of the cost? We can write it down because honestly, she doesn't know. It's going to, it's going to be comprehensive, obviously, but that's really, that's what's good. I mean, we're gonna figure all that out. So we're sorry, guys, let me run, I gotta check something real quick.
So this amount, I mean, when you say the service or to come in, it's an hour. So she will go over your health, and so when you bring your serious blood work, she can let you know it's always sufficient time. So if you sign up when she recommends, it's a package, it's not over one package. So,
Right.
yeah. So it's all going to be, it's all step by step. And you have some health issues, and you have some.
I mean, I don't, oh, she asked me this morning, when is your water?
Oh, she finds something synthetic. I never go to the list, so I don't do that. I think synthetic which is harmful.
It's really good, it's very helpful, believe me.
Oh, yeah. Information making.
You just ask, for example, on the floor day, when you come and consult with her, you charge her discount.
Right.
And sometimes she has some symptoms,
Right, so it's like, I really just want to go over what she does.
You just really.
and that's why this amount is only an hour.
She
She's I think it's really also a decision.
I'm such a rule follower.
That's also when you sign up, it's usually your blood work. We send you to the we don't know what she asked for. Yeah,
Oh my God.
this is everything. Control.
She doesn't.
So it's like she does all the one place, 4 or 5 things in one machine.
She's my daughter, she's 22, she works in the district.
It's not that hard, of course.
Yes, we all.
No, that's too far. Too far.
Yeah.
I don't tell me how much because each one has a difference.
Naturally, they're a fleet manager.
What hours are you?
But that's too far. So when you do the program, how long?
She can tell me a day. She can tell me a day. I just pick
She
it up.
has different programs. She has 4 months, 6 months. So depends on the and then she requires. And all that is affordable. I mean, really affordable.
I can do it anytime.
We have a lot of.
27, I can do it.
Okay, that's not going to be
Sure.
I'll take the additional step and
That's like a whole lot of that. I was really happy to make sure that. I was like, what is today?
This Thursday, I think I was flight.
Great, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I wanted to talk, she answered it, let me do my,
Yeah, finish that.
looking at what dates you have.
Yeah, I have
Okay.
Thursday, Friday, and Wednesday.
You have Friday, okay.
Yes.
Can we do, okay, so this Thursday I'm going to office, and who you have is the 25th?
21st.
That's Thanksgiving week break.
Oh, yeah.
What time do you have Friday?
10:30 and 12:30. This Friday.
Let's do the 23rd.
do this right there? Yeah, sure. Okay, let me just grab the materials. So Friday, right?
Yeah. Friday, you said 12:30?
And this is 11:15.
Said he had TAHIA.
Okay, 12:30. Oh, yeah, sure. Where's the chair? And there's water also there. Yeah.
Oh, very good.
So when you say that, and you have no idea what this is.
No.
I
I
half
I was like, I didn't even know anything. You don't scare.
I was like, oh my god, I was telling
I know.
and
Yeah.
Shall I
Yes.
write
Yes, yes, I put that.
You put that too.
You know what?
So it's Friday.
and I guess when I'm like, I'm so easy like saying it.
Right.
Kids come in, they're like, well,
This is
you don't understand, I got this, I'm like, oh, sit back.
Like, you're fine.
You're fine. There's my son.
Yes.
I like that. It's actually a very smart tactic. That's very smart.
Okay, you
I'm happy to lie.
so you know.
No,
Okay.
I just got it. Thank you very much. And this is the package when you come, you have to fill it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yes, I take care of the previous dashboard.
Oh, okay.
Here's this, and if you got it right there.
Well, no, you're fine.
But, right,
Yeah.
just made it professional. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can save time,
Yes.
if you spend the whole hour with them.
Right, okay.
Instead of
Yeah.
then you have to
Or I
do
have to
this.
do it tomorrow.
So either way,
Actually, I have.
You wanna try it, you can, if not, just let me know.
I'll bring that one.
And then I'll figure it out.
Just on the-
you want to make sure that's
So we
all
will get some done in
Friday.
September.
Well, maybe
So,
that's good.
okay.
You try to be like, okay, as before holiday, like Friday.
Well, run.
Back all the time.
Okay.
I'm taking it over.
Yeah, we definitely just bring back with us. We have a book. By her.
So she usually, well,
I was saying what, like 10 special
Wait, at
days?
one point, I got I detoxed all of this. It's crazy.
But we found out most of her stuff was genetic. Like her seizure, because she has gene 15.
Have a nice evening.
Thank you, this way, right?
Yes.
Oh, I sure did. I don't have.
So I can help you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so I work on Thursday, Friday. You work on Let me check if I have it available. Sorry, one moment. Did you schedule it?
No.
Okay, I just wanna make sure so I can pick the mornings, right?
Yep.
Yes.
I just want to ask her when I see her.
Someone here.
I'll just push it back.
Can you make this Thursday?
there's a couple in house.
So we'll fill those out. and I'll scan them.
Yeah.
I'll give you a week to scan them back.
That would be good.
I'll say what you're doing next week.
So this is what she which one do you want?
I booked Friday. Monday? What's the Monday? How about 9:30?
No, because I think we're gonna come to
Friday, 12:30.
Okay, all right, now we can, so the first appointment is Thursday at 10:30. Thursday, because she has Friday, this Friday at 10:30 also. And then I work out from there.
Are these in?
Now that's next. Okay, so then next week, she has Esther and 1:15.
Oh, thank you. You just need to.
I know Raina Louise got me
It's about your house.
Yeah.
All the information. What time?
She has a 8:30 a.m.
You're right.
to 1:15.
after
Oh, you want these? So she doesn't have anything after that, the next day is 11/21, Thursday,
the next day is one.
the 21st, right? That one. And then times are 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 12:30.
If you have lab work, please
One is
tell me,
the-
because if you have it, just bring it to us, just look.
I understand that
Sure, I for the 21st, Thursday. Yes, 8:30 to 9:30.
in the morning.
Yes, 10:30 in the morning, 12 to 1 in the afternoon. 12. Yes, thank you.
If not, I'll get, if I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
answer,
yeah.
is
We're
that
gonna
probably
get
better?
we're gonna get a confirmation. And it is a year since I've been here, so I'm saying perfect. I have to be sure I'll let you know.
Perfect, yeah, I don't, sometimes I can't answer my clinic, and if it was today, oh yeah, we would be off to direct.
Okay, well.
It's right before the break.
Holiday, yes, okay.
Thank you.
So we have you Thursday the 21st. Okay.
Yes.
And are you gonna be?
Thank you. I don't think so that,
Okay, so he's gonna need to be with you now. Yeah, it's kind of like Kayla mentioned, like he needs, your husband needs to be with you to the first appointment.
yes.
What is it?
I have the information here, and my husband can take
So
it by Thursday.
Thursday and then
Oh,
Monday, and
he
then
needs to be
next
here in
week.
person. He needs to be here in
And then
person.
it'll be 87.
And then we
If
have
you
to
sign up today, 87. If you don't sign up today, you have to.
Could you, well, we could book something and
That's
then we
okay.
can,
in the
we can reschedule this.
in the afternoon.
Well, I'll have to find a time when we can do the, when we can do the
So
afternoon.
that's why her
That's fine.
appointment's not available, but
You call me in the
that's why we.
Yes, I'll have to book,
Okay.
one, I have to book a time now and then we're gonna have to find something that works for you.
Yes, so
For
if you
Edgewater.
Find out like you have some
Okay.
issue.
and in the afternoon after 4:30.
Oh, it won't be after 4. She doesn't, she goes, she leaves by 4. Sunday she works, and
And
she
then
works
next
till
one
4.
will be,
But
the same.
I'll have to,
87
I'll have to
each
look to
time.
see what we have.
So this is 87.
But it will not be after 4
Consultation, right? Okay. You said that.
You can't, you can't, I guess we can't.
We should take it. She does all things within one price. Okay. So when you come in for consultation, there is no charge because you already paid
Because my
87
son-
today.
oh,
You
okay.
reserved your
Right.
spot, you paid.
I
After
started
that,
that
when you,
today.
when she comes out with the
Right.
package, share depending on your health and your.
No, yeah.
At that time, she would tell you.
Well,
that's the
unless,
price.
it's not gonna be,
And
it will
she's
not be
gonna
past
do
4
for you,
o'clock.
and
There
if
might be
everyone
at
has
2
a
o'clock
different
or
price.
3 o'clock. We
And then
think.
at that time you can
Not,
decide.
it won't be at 4 o'clock.
Depending on what you're doing with her.
Right.
Okay. Yeah,
Do you want me to look real quick? Hold on.
I got
I'm just gonna see, it's gonna be a little, it might be the next.
on Friday at
Let me see.
10.
Okay, I'll look
I
through
can make